The heartbeat reverberates in the darkness, every thump echoing with unease. The air down here is thick, heavy with ancient dust, and the memory of things left unspoken. The Sally house stands silent above, its walls watching, listening. But in the silence after the investigation crew had gone, when the sun was just a faint memory and the shadows pressed in close, one of the team sat alone, sifting through the artifacts and notes collected in haste. There, tucked between faded photographs and crumbling pages, a blueprint was discovered. Brown with age, the ink faded but indelible. It showed the familiar rooms and halls, the winding staircase, the basement. And then, a peculiar detail. A small rectangle, unmarked, tucked behind the foundation. It was a space that shouldn't have existed. No record mentioned it, no account from previous owners or townsfolk. A hidden room swallowed by time and neglect. The investigators' hands trembled as they traced the outline, a chill crawling up their spine. A question hung in the air. What could be so secret, so important, that it would be hidden away, erased from history? The discovery was too compelling to ignore. Within days, the crew reconvened, their nerves taut, but curiosity stronger than fear. They descended again into the belly of the house, flashlights piercing the gloom. The basement was colder now, the air rancid, as if something dead and forgotten lingered in the shadows. They moved cautiously toward the spot marked on the blueprint, their steps careful on the cracked concrete. The wall before them was different, older, patched with mismatched bricks, a thin line of mortar pulling away with the lightest touch. They worked in silence, chipping at the brittle masonry, the sound of metal on stone swallowed by the darkness. Each heartbeat seemed louder, a rhythmic warning. Dust filled the air, thick and choking. Then, with a final push, a section of wall gave way. The hole yawned open, revealing blackness deeper than the rest of the basement, as if it absorbed the meager light. They shone their flashlights into the void and saw dirt, raw earth, not the finished concrete of the rest of the basement. The air was colder here, stale, unmoving. They crawled through the opening, boots sinking into the soft ground. The room was small, just large enough for a child to stand upright. The walls pressed in close, the ceiling sagging. No windows, no light, just a suffocating sense of abandonment. And then they saw it. A mound of dirt in the center, disturbed and uneven. The team readied their tools, hands gloved, breath shallow. They dug carefully, the silence broken only by the scrape of metal and their own nervous breathing. Inch by inch, the dirt gave way to secrets. First, the glint of something metallic, a rusted toy car, its paint flaked away by decades. Then, a cracked porcelain doll, her dress stained, her eyes missing. Someone whispered a prayer, the words trembling in the stillness. Deeper still, old medical instruments surfaced. Scalpels dulled by time, clamps, a stained bandage. The horror of it settled over them, heavy and inescapable. The doll, when lifted, was cold and damp, a dark stain spreading from her chest. As they turned her over, a tangle of hair fell out, matted and dirty. It was too real, too human. One of the crew, a seasoned investigator who had scoffed at the stories, recoiled. He pressed a shaking hand to his mouth, his skin clammy and pale. "It's wrong," he whispered, voice cracking. I need to get out," he staggered,